Good evening, everybody.
Hi, good evening one more time.
I
You're
hope,
on?
yeah. So I just hope we all are safe and sound at home. And I'm Alankrita from the Fair Gaze team. Today we are back with another Fair Talk session on role of parents in teaching during the COVID era. So I would like to introduce our esteemed panelists. Ms. Jyoti Arora, Principal, Delhi World Public School, Noida Extension. Ms. Sapna Sukul, founder, EDU Start Solutions, AFS Global Trainer, British Council Ambassador. Ms. Aisha Khan, School Safety and Quality Management Specialist and Lead School Safety Fair Gaze. Mr. Ashish Mehrotra, Assistant Vice President of Sales, ACL Mobile Limited. Moderator, Dr. Madhumati Singh, Director, Fair Gaze. And now I would pass it on to ma'am.
Time flies. I'm uh, Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? I
Yes, ma'am.
think. Okay. Thank you, Alankrita, for the introduction of our vibrant panelists that we have this evening. And welcome, viewers, all of you out there who are taking out time and figuring out how we can brainstorm together in COVID times and what is happening with the online education. So many questions, so many things running in our minds. And while we are at it, let's do a quick run through what really has happened all of a sudden. So we look at almost 5 months plus into COVID times. COVID times, on one hand, in March itself, saw exams, the last exams, toppling away. Some of the kids saying, oh, we don't have to take the exams, thank God. But they did not know that their summer holidays is going to be of a different nature. And not only them, the parents and the teaching community felt okay, elongated summer holidays, but then what? And then started this our exercise, our endeavor to go online. Maybe it is the time, like we say, the new normal. So the new normal brought about what we are in right now, and that's why we've got together here. Every day in the newspapers, we have snippets from the MHA, the HRD, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and all the children are looking at which exams are happening. Am I going to go to school in September 21st? Is it just a high school? And the questions are plenty and aplenty. So welcome one more time, viewers. My name is Dr. Madhumati Singh. I'm a practicing psychologist and director with Fairgaze. Fairgaze, one of the biggest portal for K-12 community, which is a one-stop shop for the K-12 needs. We cater to the child being the center and how a holistic development takes place. So we have, like I said, distinguished panelists here. And while you are watching us, it'll be great to keep popping in your chats what kind of questions you would like to ask, because in the end of our discussion, we are going to go ahead with question answer session. So here, Jyotiji, the first question goes to you. Is restrictions and curtailed freedom is affecting the psyche of the growing generation these days? How can the parents and teachers understand the subtle plight of the children and work in unison to provide some liberty to overcome their difficulties?
Yeah, yeah. A very good evening, everyone. Yeah, I think I will. Before I start, before I answer the question completely, I would just narrate a small incident that happened a week back. I was taking a meeting with my teachers, which normally, the frequency has increased now. And one of my senior school teacher, she apprised me that in the morning, there is a child, ma'am, I have to wake up that child. In the sense, she'll give a telephonic call, then the landline call will follow. All those things will follow. And then the child sits down to study. And there is a parent who is talking about the availability of textbooks and the marking scheme and how the tests are going to go around. So why I'm trying to highlight this incident is that you can see that in other times, this would never have been the scenario. A teacher talking about a child, that she has to wake the child up so that he's ready for the class, and a parent talking about the textbooks. So I think in the current scenario, what Dr. Madhumati also said, there has been a distinction, it has been blurred. So when I say that the distinction has blurred, I mean to say that the roles have combined for the teacher and the parent. Now the roles have merged, I will say. And it is very important at this time that we step into the shoes of one another. Currently, the situation is unprecedented. Of course, the next unlock guidelines have come, but still all the schools have to review. We all know that it had a huge impact on the lives of everyone. So if you look at the parent or you look at the teacher, all of them are wearing many hats. They are juggling the roles. That could be a parent, that could be a teacher, that could be a counselor, that could be a friend, that could be a mentor. And everyone's home, whether it's a teacher or a parent, they have been converted into classrooms, and they have been converted into workstations, dance studios, yoga stations, what all. So I think it is very important that parents and teachers, they start understanding each other. I will not say that it is not happening after being with each other for such a long, that parents and teachers and children, they're getting accustomed to this new system of teaching. So what I feel that they have to step into each other's shoes. So for that, empathy and patience is very important. So it is not only the responsibility of the teacher to understand the parent also has to understand the teacher. So currently, I will say they have to work in partnership. So when I talk about partnership, it could be collaborating on the activities which are being done, and the communication. Now, communication, it need not be one mode. It not be you are sending WhatsApp or you are on Microsoft Teams, because nothing can replace the personal relationships. So normally in our school, we have this system of regularly giving sunshine calls to the parents and to the teachers. And what is the focus for all of us? Whether a teacher, a parent, or a mentor, or anyone, we are just concerned about the well-being of the children, because currently the children have not seen the situation, and I don't know the situation will ever come back also. They cannot meet their friends, they cannot go out. So I would like to say that now the teaching learning approach, it has to be imbued with courage, I will say concern, care, and affection. So in the current scenario, the education is, it has to be found on compassion, and humanitarian aspect has to come into the play. I always, tell my teachers that a successful teacher needs to have a very successful relationship with the parents. So, because family is the first school, I will say, and young students, the parents are the powerful role models for them. So, Dr. Madhumati, I would like to say it is time we come up together to ensure that our children are very happy, they are looked after properly, and we understand each other. Because at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to any child's success is the positive impact of the parents. So I think adjustment on both the sides, that is important.
Very well put, Jyotiji. Being the principal of Delhi World Public School, you are not only in charge of a school, but you're also a parent. And, what are the 2-3 things which you feel are, disturbing the parents or disturbing the children? Just a couple of examples that you can give, because you are hands-on with all of this.
Yeah. See, I think if I talk about, of course, I'm a parent of grown-up kids, and what I see, like my son is in college. So the question, especially what is bothering everybody, the completion of syllabus, the children. And as a parent, how much, as I said, the roles have reversed when I started with an incident in the beginning. So I can say the examination system, how are we going to conduct the exams? How are the learning outcomes of this particular age? Are the children going to learn all those outcomes? So the positive impact on the children. And I will say that, like, I'll share a very small thing. My own daughter, she had to give a presentation that day. And she said, Mama, I've forgotten moving out and interacting with everybody. So I
Yes.
think it is a situation, once the children come back, we also have to work on their psyche at that time also. So they have
Yes.
forgotten all those social obligations also.
Wonderful. So Jyotiji says being inbound at home is a challenge not only for the child, but for the parent to give that kind of encouragement. In fact, it's high time that parents start to actually look at the syllabus. What is the worksheet like? What is the timetable like? Is the child up? So we are looking at, as Jyotiji said beautifully well, we are into each other's shoes and we have a combined role to play with different balls to juggle. Beautifully well put, Jyotiji. And we have Sapnaji here. Sapnaji, she is the founder, EDU Start Solutions. And I know you're making some fervent notes. So out with it. How do you think have parents and teachers worked as one unit with better understanding for each other? Sapnaji. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. I think I'm just going to put right. Yes, better. Perfect. Yes, Sapnaji, you can hear you. Yes. Sapnaji. So while Sapnaji is coming, while she is almost reaching her spot, we'd again like to talk about what is the current scenario. Yeah. And yes, Sapnaji, are you there?
I think somebody asked
yes.
me to, I was exited for a minute. So,
Welcome.
we all know that 21st March was the day when this was a new world. Suddenly we were thrown into this, you can say a black sea or a dead sea or an ocean. And we thought the time will pass, and teachers were also taking that, okay, we will learn these methods. And I just wrote a very, my observation in an article this time, that whatever I did. So we started this, everybody was talking how to go about. So I think that for students, it was not a very difficult thing, because they are born with technology. For them to adapt anything and go online was a very easy thing, because the kind of apps which have been introduced now, most of the students, when I took workshop, they were aware of it. It's just that they were not using it. And when teachers were introduced to certain systems and all, I'll say 40%, 50% teachers were aware. I don't know the survey report, but most of the teachers learned it with time. And what was the parents' role now? So the teachers are trying to polish themselves and working day and night, burning the midnight oil, learning the strategy, how to do an effective classroom teaching. Parents also played a very important role. And since I have taken a lot of parenting workshops and a joint workshop along with the parents and teachers and the management, so I figured out that the parents workshop when I took, so we can just say that initially, like before COVID, I have never seen these kind of workshops being organized, and the participants were like 100% participation was there. So people used to come if the PTM, if a talk is being organized, so they'll come, they'll attend, they'll go. But what I have seen during this time, that parents are enthusiastically participating in these workshops, which are organized through seminars, which are organized along with the school. And they are also putting up questions in the chat box, that how, if this has happened, how do we do it? And the relationship which I have seen is the kind of respect parents have got for teachers now. I have not come across any parent who says that the teacher has not worked, or I am finding it difficult now. Yes, the fee issues were there, but every parent, whosoever I call up, they said, what fantastic community you all are. Though I'm not teaching now, but I take pride in being a teacher always, because the kind of respect, it's like they are the front warriors. We call about the doctors, the sanitation workers. And here when I'm And I pass it on to all the schools when we take these workshops, and I tell them that your teachers were being praised so much. It's just, and I'll say during this testing time, the teachers have been given that acknowledgement, that accolade, that adulation, that which was not, which was there, but now it is being universally recognized, and not a, it's a very, it's like a very, it was a noble profession, it is a noble profession. But now earlier, like being in defense, everybody says defense, you marry a defense officer and you serve for the nation. But now the moment you say that you are a teacher, so people have immense respect suddenly. So that era has come now where we can all, because there was a time, I think all of you will agree, but many of them, if you ask for the career, they'll say, teacher nahi banna hai, anything else. But today, with those parents who are sitting in the webinar, and when we are taking career counseling also, so in the chat box, they are writing, how can we become a good teacher? How can we become an online trainer? Ma'am, we want to become an online trainer. Ma'am, we want to become an international coach. So such words were not coming. So I feel with this, it is more like a PTPA, the Parent Teacher Partnership Association, which I had already made when I was heading a school. My PTM was never a PTM. It was also called PTPA. So parents were 100% participating. So I had named it only PTPA, Parent Teacher Partnership Association. So everything was along with them. And now I'll say it has gone to every nook and corner. Everybody is having their own PTM with their own abbreviations. And now also like coming to different segments. When we talk about higher segment, parents were involved. But when we talk about a segment where people were not, they were really dependent on the PTM meetings. Even that person has got a privilege to call up his or her teacher and find out that what her son or his daughter is doing, which was not, they were hesitant earlier. Earlier, they were just waiting because we all work with these people, and they were all hesitant that जब PTM आएगा तब हम teacher से बात कर लेंगे. But now they know that it's teacher is available, and they have any query. Yes, I understand teaching is not happening at when we talk about technology. Like my own cook does not. He has only 1 per mile. His children are in the village, and he cannot like he cannot access whatever is being taught. But he knows that today he can access, he can go to the school or he can call up the school. Everything, he says, the system has become so easy for him. Earlier, that little bit, he was always hesitant. Ma'am, आप लोग जब जाते हो ना तो कभी-कभी बस थोड़ा सा मिलके आ जाते हैं, hesitate करते हैं. But today he's not. So he's very confident. And even students who are shy in nature or who are very naughty, who are very aggressive also, they all have been blended, and the teachers have started understanding them in a better way. The children who are introvert have, teachers have discovered their potential. The parents have started understanding and admiring the teachers' hard work with their presentation, with the kind of whatever they are doing. And yes, and now it is like it's a complete, it's a full, earlier, sorry, the principal is here, but earlier it was the principals and the management were getting the main tom-tom. But now today, all teachers, the management, everybody is one unit, which is, if I say Delhi World School, so it goes for the whole school. It just does not go for a principal, for a teacher. So that's the kind of change which I have seen during my 4 months, because, and I'm just stating from the perspective, like, because I'm traveling to many cities sitting in Delhi or virtually. So everywhere everybody is taking my teachers, my pride, my management, my parents. So they have become very, very conscious about this, that this is what we are. Like the whole team is working a lot in unison. So that's what I feel.
Wonderful, Sapnaji. I think what we're looking at is that the digital education has become the salt in our food. It's as indispensable as that. Sapna ji, एक question था आपके लिए कि अगर suppose एक parent आपसे कहता है कि I am not tech savvy, I don't know what is this technology? Does the parent need to know anything at all about how the kid is studying, etc.?
See, when the parent says, I don't know what is technology, so it's very easy for them, because then where are these edtech companies? Suddenly, these edtech companies, I'll share that article. I don't want to read it out here, but I've written that edtech companies were there existing. And we were just, my article also says that during that, before COVID, we were, whenever we used to go for conferences, so whenever these companies used to give a break, one demo about their edtech products, people used to thin out. They used to walk back. Who wants to listen to this edtech? But now we are approaching them. Tell us what is the way to go forward. How? So everything is in the hands of technology. Is like in the hands of teachers and the management and the like people who are giving workshops and all to make them understand it very easily, because I keep doing it every now and then, that use this tool, it's very good. And even phones, like I'll say like today, if my laptop, like yesterday, it was not working, so I used my Zoom on phone and I was very happy. So it's just how you take this process of making them understand. So you have to break your languages into the sector which you're dealing with. It's
absolutely
when you can teach an animal, so so you can teach anybody anything.
Wonderfully well put, Sapnaji, in terms of that it's mandatory now. It's not so much as a choice. We did have a choice, and guess what? It caught up with us. So it's very important. In fact, talking about languages, I suddenly remembered of a teacher who's about to retire, a Hindi teacher who is going to retire this year. And she has to upgrade herself. In a way, it was overwhelming for her, but she says, what a way to retire. There's another chip, on my shoulder that I can take with me. So we all need to open our, senses to the new normal, and then continue with what is it that we have to do in life. So we have with us now the next speaker is Aisha, our very own Aisha. Aisha, are you there? Aisha. Ms. Aisha Khan is the School Safety and Quality Management Specialist and leads school safety with Fairgaze. And she is with us for a very important segment of our talk today. Technology, well said and done, but it's a sea out there. We don't know how to swim. What are the do's and don'ts? What are the safety gadgets? How to go about? So Aisha is going to throw some light here, very important. Aisha, the question for you is, keeping in mind the perspective of safety, how do you think has parents' role and responsibility increased in the education of students owing to a digital medium of education? Aisha wants me to respond to that.
Aisha is not there.
Fairgaze, yes, she was here in the whole. Aisha, are you there? She's not here on the panel as yet. So while we wait for Aisha, I think she was the first one to join us, and then
joined us first.
Yes. So we were having a dry run the other day, and it was Sapnaji who came up with a great idea, and so did Aisha later on say that one of the most important elements is keep the computer, the gadget in a common area. That's very important, so that while the kid is learning, even the parents are being updated. And there was one child who said, I just read in the papers today that I'm so consumed by YouTube, instead of focusing on what I have to pick, I'm wasting my time in irrelevant information, and that is giving me anxiety. So all of those issues are also there. And would you like to throw some light on this, Jyotiji, about this, while I think Aisha is somewhere? कुछ कहना चाहेंगे ज्योति जी आप इस चीज के बारे में, और सपना जी आप भी?
Yeah, so I think talking about the digital, there, like we say that science, I remember as a child, I used to write an essay that science is a bad master but a good servant. So I think same thing has happened with technology also. children are facing these problems. We as teachers, because I feel the feedback that we get, or when we take impromptu rounds in the classes, the children are behind the camera. There is definitely a problem.
Right.
And I'll share with you that there's another problem when you talk about exams, like exam.net. There are many mediums. So children
Yes.
are able to create their IDs on that also. So there is, they are so much swayed by YouTubes and other things. So it happens at times that the teacher will not know whether the child is behind the class or is somewhere else, and the parents are at times, they are not around. So you rightly said that.
Yes, yes. Sapnaji, any points here about it? Would you like to add on?
Yeah, so I would like to, like you want to know about the technology, how we can control or how the children can be monitored. Is that the question? Am I right?
Yes, if you can, it'll be great. Yeah, sure. I mean, you are an expert there too. Yeah.
What I feel that when students are, depending on the age, like today I just got a message from one of the schools abroad where the parent is clicking a picture that when the child is attending so many classes, and she click pictures in different phases, on different days, and he's just been crying. So he's on the camera, he's very happy, but he just hides his face and he's crying. So what we have to think that if the child is logging by different names, or if the student is actually trying to log in with different name, or trying to fool around, or trying not to come. So we have to do one-on-one case study. That's why the counselors and so many webinars on trainings are happening, where we are coming up with like, let's sort out the children who are always doing it. Let's make a report card or a rubric sort of a thing, that who are the ones who are always doing this. And once we make a rubric, we know that there has to be something more to that. Either it can be because of this lockdown, because of this homeboundness. Families are also going through different times. So there may be some family who has a big bungalow, and they have different gadgets, as I told you earlier.
Yes.
So for them it is okay. I attend, I don't attend. But for some people it's all the time. Like when the classes are going on, there's a little bit of confrontation and some room going on. So the child has this, which we found out that, and in some cases there were problems of parents going on, or there were different issues which we don't want to discuss, but there were certain things also going on in the family, which came only when the teacher monitored that report of certain and different cases. So then again, that's how the school becomes very important, because otherwise anybody can, its syllabus is there online, any gadget you can take and anybody can come and give the exam. But that's where the school plays a very important role. Where,
I think Aisha is here, and Sapnaji filled it up beautifully by saying that we need to be very cautious, and the parents need to understand the different security gadgets which are available. And I can understand Aisha was the first to join us, and then it looks like the work from home restrictions. She has a small kid, so I could guess that she must have just walked out and done something in the kitchen and come back. Welcome back again, Aisha. Keeping in mind the perspective of safety, how do you think has parents' role and responsibility increased in the education of students owing to a digital medium of education, Aisha?
Okay, good evening, everybody. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, very audible. Yes.
So I wanted to just start by saying that kids of all age groups nowadays, they have started using the online medium of education, and more so ever the children who never ever used online education, internet, they have also started using. But we just understand that children do not have the critical thinking skills to understand the do's and don'ts of how to use the internet properly. So this is where the parents have to play a very, very important role. They have an increased responsibility, which is very similar. When we teach our children how to cross the road, the first thing we tell them is hold my hand. So that is exactly what we have to do. We have to guide them to walk into the online world. And we have to tell our children that the online world is not very different from the real world. Just like we have some etiquettes, how to behave, how to talk, how to eat, we as parents, responsible parents, need to educate them how they are supposed to use the internet also. And that's how the parents' responsibility increases. Not just by being very vigilant about the posture of the children, how they are sitting, are they giving enough rest to their eyes? This is just not enough. More than that, we need to set certain boundaries for the children. Like if we make certain thumb rules as responsible parents, we will make it much easier for our children. Like if we inculcate a practice of getting permission, like whenever you start the computer, you are going to seek my permission, you are going to ask me, or before downloading any app or before playing any game, you are going to ask me or inform me. So if we do that, that is going to restrict the child to an extent. Moreover, as parents, we need to educate ourselves about apps that are child friendly, user specific for particular age group, so that the children do not get exposed to inappropriate content. And then at the same time, we also need to monitor them or be around them at the same time. And if it is not possible for us at all points of time to be near them, it becomes a parent's responsibility to place the workstation in some central location in the house or at some place where we can monitor them. Apart from this, we also need to see as parents if the gadget is getting too hot or it's plugged in well. So these are things that a responsible parent is supposed to do. Unlike the traditional schooling where we were just picking and dropping the children and we had handed over the children to the school for all these things, now it has become the responsibility of the parent to also educate the child, not just how he's supposed to do his homework or upload his worksheet and use the internet, but also about internet etiquette. That is also one important thing. Like, for example, in our balcony, we wouldn't start shouting about our personal details to a stranger. We can't reveal all the details. That is exactly how we have to tell our child that you can't be revealing your personal information, your photograph, your emails, and everything on the internet. So all these things need a parent to first be aware and to educate themselves, just not how to use a particular application, but to also be aware about the pros and cons of that application. Like, for example, YouTube has got a specialized version for children, which is called YouTube Kids. So that prevents any kind of inappropriate content from popping up, and the child is only able to use the child-friendly content. And then at the same time, as a responsible parent, our responsibility also increases because we need to have openness and a clear-cut communication with the child. We need to observe his behavior and we need to even find out, because I think most of the parents would agree that half of us know what our children are doing on the internet. Half of us don't even know, or we are not aware. So as responsible parents, we first need to create awareness amongst ourselves, or we have some proactive parents on WhatsApp groups of classes. So we keep discussing, we keep talking. And last but not the least, a suggestion to all the parents, to the responsible parents: have open conversations with your children, understand their state of mind. Tell them that if they come across anything which is inappropriate or they don't feel good about on the internet, tell them to share with you. And if you are angry with them, if you shout at them, or if you blame them, then probably they might not come to you when they need help. So that is a very important responsibility of parents in today's time.
Wonderful. So Aisha does talk about bonding and talking about increasing communication, because it is the time that parents need to buck up their own energies and buck up and keep pace with the youngsters. Make sure that they are having user-friendly apps, the child-friendly apps. And of course, as Aisha had said beautifully well, everybody is on WhatsApp. There are WhatsApp groups. There is always one proactive, tech-savvy parent. Take help, ask for opinions, and make sure that your child is has the internet etiquettes and is safe. So within safety, of course, we are still looking at, the new normal. There is so much which is happening, and being a parent and being a professional, being a teacher, it's so difficult to find normalcy, the word normalcy. So this is the normalcy. We are not waiting for an ideal utopian concept, one day something. For that, I think for this particular aspect of our talk today, we have with us Mr. Ashish Mehrotra. He's Assistant Vice President, Sales, ACL Mobile Limited, and also a parent. And of course, he's going to throw light on maybe a cumulative of all that we've discussed, which is that do you provide your child a sense of normalcy by incorporating a structure and routine? If yes, then how?
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
So, yes, I do provide a sense of normalcy by incorporating a structure and routine. And it is basically, I would say that these are the best time, though a bit precarious, and to ensure normalcy by incorporating like a structure and following a routine, and to extend it in a desirable and a most possible way. Now, it's something very normal with respect to a child. Like there might be a lot of children who get up like at 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and then 8:45, 9 o'clock directly going to the class. You have a 15-minute break, you go and brush your teeth, come back, have a cup of milk, and again go to your class. So one is this. Second is if your child is waking up on time, getting ready for their online study classes, doing their daily routines timely, dedicate their study hours in the room, doing regular exercises for their betterment of their uh, whatever it is, like staying away from misusing of the mobiles. So this is a long list wherein you actually need to be with your child and you need to tell them all these things. So that was something which when this online classes started, so I ensured that we have a strict timetable, because this is actually a time when a parent has to devote a lot of time and energy with their children, because certain at times your children become irritated. Why? Because they are in their houses for months. They have not seen the world outside. When I say the word outside, they wouldn't have even got an opportunity to sit in the car with their parents and go out and have an ice cream. So and it's a normal thing. A child will become irritated. So as a parent and as a responsible parent, you have to take care of all these things. And that is what, if you take care of all these things, if you are able to overcome all these things, then you have actually maintained and incorporated normalcy.
Ashish ji, tell me, what is it that goes into the routine? Like, what are the elements that make a balanced routine? Where a parent says, okay, these 5 elements are taken care of. If you could just throw light on that, it'll help the viewers.
Something which I just said 2 minutes back. I've seen a lot of children, even during this pandemic, getting up at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, right, and directly sitting in for the classes. Right. So this is what you teach to your child. Na? You go to school at 7:30 in the morning, you have a set routine. So if 8:30 your classes start, you have to follow a routine.
Right.
So normalcy here is basically following up a routine. After 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, when your classes, or 1 o'clock your classes, whatever time your classes are over, you dedicated some time to watch television, watching news, sitting with your parents and grandparents, discussing about all of the happenings. And most important thing, what as a parent, what I see is, I ensure normalcy by avoiding discussions revolving around my house through a negative news. And then I try to motivate my child to identify that positivity in these difficult times. Right. And then basically you need to sensitize your child on the new normal. When you say new normal, particularly, it is basically related to maintaining your self hygiene, utilizing your time effectively during these volatile times by actually maintaining a to-do list and ensuring your compliance. And as a parent, you have to be very calm and proactive. And lastly, you have to monitor your own behavior. If you are not doing that, then I think you're not doing anything. You can't bring a normalcy for your child.
Right.
So that's what I have to say in this.
Wonderful. I think Ashish just put it beautifully, that be an example first. When you are an example, your kids will automatically follow suit. If you are, hurrying with your Zoom meeting and you haven't even brushed your teeth as a parent, the kid sees everything. So very nice. It's good that Ashish ji has mentioned that a routine has to be followed. There has to be a wake up time, a sleeping time, meals time. There has to be an activity time. There has to be some kind of interaction, like Sapna ji said, even Aisha said, that communication, bond with your children, talk more, be around more, figure out how they're coping in COVID times, not only with COVID, but also the digital education. So we are almost at the end of our talk. Of course, we have the question answers still there. However, we would like to do this, what we say, the icing. We have the cake and we now need to ice it with the final verdict. Final verdict is a one-liner, two-liner, important one essence, like we say, the icing on the cake. So Jyoti ji, आप क्या कहेंगे कि आपकी icing में क्या ingredient है? The final verdict.
Final, I think I will say role models for the children, whether teachers or parents. So I think role model is the most important thing. And we have time. Can I elaborate or?
Yes, we have time. We have time. Please.
Okay.
It'll be wonderful.
So I think we have to be role models, and today also there's a lot of takeaway from everyone, and I really liked what Sapna ma'am said, that as a principal, I also feel that the current now what existed 4.5 months back, the situation has completely changed now. Definitely, the parents have become more accommodative. The teachers did not know how to mute and unmute, so that command over the technology is there. The children have also taken to this very well, and as Aisha very well pointed out, I will definitely say Aisha said that open conversation and bonding with the children is very, very important. So again, I will say the mutual trust, the role model, hand holding and sensitizing the children to this new normalcy is the most important thing.
Wonderful, well put. Be the role model for your child. That's the final verdict of Jyoti ji. And of course, we have Sapna ji here. What is your icing on the cake, Sapna ji?
You'll have to unmute yourself, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So like there's a story about this king where he tells his all his ministers that give me one sentence which will just put it in my ring, and wherever something happens, I should remember that, and something in just one word or just one sentence which will help me. So all his ministers say nothing. We can't find, we are ministers, but so that one of the workmen says that I'm not a minister, but I'll give you one word, but you will only use it when you are in great worry or something. So just to cut it short, there was a war, and when he opened the ring, so everything, when he opened the ring, it was written, this too shall pass. Yeah. So everything was just, he was calm, he was he balanced himself, and then he said that, okay, first thing is to balance your mind and everything will go by. So when he comes back to kingdom, and then he says that when everybody was celebrating and he was again made a star, that he won the, I'm just giving it the battle or something. So he felt very happy. He said, wow, I'm getting so many accolades. And then again, the person who wrote, he says, look at your ring. So again, he opened and he says, this too shall pass. So there, I just feel that with that, I'll like to say that whatever is happening, everything will pass, but there are a lot of takeaways which we have to say, because every phase of our life will just pass this way. We have to take it in a better stride. We have to become a better person day by day. And what have we learned? So what are the takeaways from every webinar, from every training, from every principal, from every management, from parents, from people like you? So all the crux of it, what I have found is that I have learned more about empathy, and that's what I've learned, that during these times, nothing more was required for me to exist. All I could understand was how to give and how to show gratitude, be it in form of technology, be it in form of learning, be it in form of being a good parent, being in form of a good trainer, being in a good a housewife, a good mother. So everywhere you just have to, that's what I symbolize, that one has to be empathetic and show gratitude. And that's
Beautiful.
This shall pass, but there are two things I take away from this pandemic.
Superb. I think Sapna ji has put her experiences so beautifully well. This too shall pass. And while it is passing, be a giver with empathy. I think this itself is beautifully well summed up as the icing on the cake. And Aisha, what is your take of your icing, Aisha, for safety measures?
Yes. As a safety specialist, I'm going to only say that risks are a part of life. Accidents need not be. So I wish everyone is safe at home. And of course, gratefulness and compassion is one thing that I have also learned from this COVID break. Nowadays, time is luxury, something that we didn't have before. Life had become so busy, but now we are all connected with our family. We have seen our children grow in the last 6 months. We have bonded more with family. We have contributed in each and every way. In the absence of domestic help also, we have done whatever the best we could do. So I will also say that I feel grateful. I'll try to sum it up with a positive mental attitude by saying that I am not locked at home, but I am grateful that I am safe at home. So we should all be grateful to God that we have a house, we have our families, we're together, we have resources that we can communicate with the rest of the world. And as Ms. Sapna said, this too shall pass. Change is the only constant that I would say. So everything is going to change. And I think each one of us is a different person in this lockdown. We have self-evolved. We have realized new potentials within us. And we have also realized the efforts that others had been doing, which we were not very compassionate about before. So
Wonderful.
I wish everybody a great evening. I wish everyone is safe, and together we all will walk through, and I think we will get back to the old normal, as this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. And Aisha said it's thank God. We need to thank God that we are indoors, safe indoors.
Yes.
And we have parents to hold our hands. We have teachers to hold our hands and say, come, I'll help you walk across the road. And that's the icing. And we would have now Ashish ji to give us the icing. What is your final verdict on this? Sound.
Mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, I'll quickly add that we are live on Facebook and we have people who are pouring in, who are sending in their comments. So as Ashish ji finishes with the final verdict, we will start with question answers. People have already started.
Most of the things have already been said. I would just like to lastly say, as a parent, though your child is following up the new normalcy, as a parent, you have to be very calm and proactive. Have to maintain a work-life balance, right? Keeping, monitoring your child, monitoring your child's behavior, and monitoring yourself.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Ashish ji has put it beautifully well. The whole need for what we say is community synergy. Community means now we cannot take a back step and say, ye bachon ka kaam hai, ye teacher ka kaam hai, PTA jab aayegi tab dekhi jayegi. PTA roz hai, like Jyoti ji said. It is, and Sapna ji said that and parents now are feeling that they are more readily audible, they are more reachable to the teachers. And now that we are talking of the new normal, we are looking at the viewers who have joined us on Facebook Live while we did our talk and did a lot of brainstorming. So we'll take up the first question. There are quite a few. We'll quickly take Mr. Sushil Ji is asking, how parents can be motivated for their active role while they are struggling for everyday meal. How parents can be motivated for their active role. रोजमर्रा की खाना बनाना है, ये देखना है, घर का चीजें, भांडे बर्तन, इसके साथ साथ पेरेंट्स की मोटिवेशन कैसे एक्टिव रखें कि वो इस डिजिटल एजुकेशन में और प्रोत्साहन दिखाएं. Anybody would like to answer?
I'll like to answer.
Yes, Sapna ji.
Jyoti can.
Jyoti ji.
Okay. I think we'll be very short so that I also and then.
Sure. Yes. We all can take one by.
I just add 2 points that so I'll say that parents' motivation is the child himself or herself. So at times it happens that even now, I'll say that I'm also falling in the same trap because I was 15 days out of city, and today under lockdown, we have to, every now and then I'm on a webinar, and when you're speaking, you have to study. And then today also my pest control people are there and they're cleaning the kitchen. So it's a worldwide scenario. It's again how you look at it. Yes. Sometimes I feel, oh God, what is it now? But then again, you have to just energize yourself. Your inner instinct has to be so positive that doesn't matter. What is the good sign? My children are there with me.
Yes.
They were not there earlier. Now they are staying with me. So what? I'm enjoying that bit.
Yes.
So there'll always be certain things which will not go the way it used to. It's happening in everybody's life. But you have to see what is the goodness which is going on and just harp on that and latch on that and climb up with that. I feel that when I do the same thing because it's happening in every household, the same thing. What the luxury, whatever you had is not, it is there, but necessity is there, but luxury is missing. So that luxury, we have started cooking together, and we have discovered so many talents amongst each other, and we have started helping each other so much in different areas. That's what every family is doing. Yeah. So that's what I feel. Jyoti,
tell me, yes, Jyoti ji, बताएं आपका point.
I would like to say definitely that child is the focal point, and as Aisha very rightly put, that we are not in a lockdown. We are grateful that we are all safe together. So we have to keep ourselves charged. Of course, the face of the child is the most important thing. But I would definitely say doing something positive together. It could be a yoga session together. It could be maintaining a schedule together, and definitely attending some different kind of creative activities. Like there was a time when I was feeling very low. So what I started, me and my daughter, we started cooking together, and we started attending some art workshops together. So I think there are a lot of free webinars and a lot of free workshops. So happiness index has to be, it can always be attained when you are together and with your. So family times have definitely made a roaring comeback.
Wonderful. It has. Absolutely right. Family time has made a roaring comeback. यहाँ पे एक हमारे व्यूअर का एक कंसर्न है, क्योंकि हम बाइलिंगुअल हैं. It's okay that we shift between Hindi and English. उनका ये कहना है कि जो माँ बाप रोजी रोटी के जिद्दोजहद में लगे हुए हैं, उनका वो किस तरह से इस डिजिटल एजुकेशन के साथ कोप अप करें. तो मुझे तो एक चीज ध्यान में आ रही है, वो ये है कि आई रेड इन द पेपर्स द अदर डे, उन्होंने पेपर में लिखा था कि आपको याद है जब टीवी नहीं होता था और एक पूरे कॉलोनी में एक के पास टीवी होता था, क्या करते थे हम लोग? वहां जाके बैठ जाते थे और हम वो व्यू करते थे. इट्स द सेम थिंग, टेक्नोलॉजी को लेके भी शायद वही है. ऑफ कोर्स आई एम नो एक्सपर्ट हियर, बट ऑफ द कफ दिस पॉइंट केम टू माय माइंड कि जो सोशल इकोनॉमिक स्टैंडर्ड्स के हिसाब से अप डाउन हमारी सोसाइटी है, और जिनको लगता है कि हम कैसे कोप अप करें, उनके लिए आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? सपना, आशीष जी, ज्योति जी, one liner each, please.
I'll say that yes, I am meeting such people. It's जो आपने लिखा है, मैं ऐसे लोगों से मिल भी रही हूँ, क्योंकि कुछ तो मेरे घर के आसपास रहते हैं और कुछ जब मैंने रूरल वेबिनार किया था तो वहाँ के लोगों से जब बातें की तो ऐसे लोग बहुत हैं जो टेक्नोलॉजी को फेस कर रहे हैं कि उनके पास गैजेट्स कम है और उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. उनको जूम लॉग इन लॉग आउट, पेरेंट को तो ये सब तो आता ही नहीं, बोलते मैडम इतनी खिचड़ी मत बताइए, आप बस मोटा मोटा बताइए करना क्या है, बोलना क्या है। सो व्हाट अगेन आपको क्या करना है, जहां भी आप हैं वहां पे कुछ सरपंच होंगे या कुछ आपका हेड होंगे आसपास, तो मैंने उनको बताया था कि उनके पास फोन है ना, आप रिकॉर्डिंग देख लो, आपको टीचर रिकॉर्डिंग भेज देगी। आप वो आजकल तो गवर्नमेंट ने इतने उनके दीक्षा प्लेटफॉर्म पे इतनी सारी चीजें डाली है, वो तो एक रिपोजिटरी है, मतलब वो नॉलेज का भंडार है गवर्नमेंट के पास, सिर्फ खोल के देख लो। और जरूरी नहीं है कि जो पूरी क्लास सीखती है आपके बच्चे को भी वो सीखना है, आप अपने बच्चे को अच्छे वैल्यूज सिखा रहे हैं ना, वो भी बहुत है। अगर 6 महीने बच्चा, 4 महीने बच्चे का थोड़ा सा एजुकेशन में इतना अच्छा नहीं करेगा, पर आप उसको एक तरह से अच्छा इंसान बनाने का कोशिश करते रहिए। दैट्स व्हाट आई फील।
वंडरफुल। आशीष जी, आपका क्या वन लाइनर ऑन दैट? हाउ डज दैट हैपन?
I would like to say that this is not it's not very important. A person needs to have a gadget to, go in for their education. And as what very rightly said by Sapna ma'am, that there are a lot of means and ways by which a child or the parent can help their children in overcoming this hurdle. But I don't see this as a hurdle, because there are a lot of other things also which a child needs to learn. A year or 6 months is not going to make his career. He has got entire years of studies through which he's going to rise high in life.
Absolutely.
So I feel these 4, 5, 6 months,
Right.
This time will pass by,
Right.
and these 6 months is not going to make a lot of change. That is
Aisha,
what
yeah, wonderful. Aisha, आपका क्या idea है? You would like to share something here?
I would only like to say that Jio probably has made internet mobile data so easily available. And like we see all these people, even auto rickshaw pullers, our domestic helpers, they all have these mobiles, and just, the way they are browsing Netflix probably or other web series on their mobiles. I think mobile education also, they are using those apps, and a lot of things are very self-explanatory. Like I asked my domestic help the other day, how are your children studying? So she said one of them uses my husband's mobile, one of them uses my mobile. So a lot of things are very self-explanatory also. Even if the mother does not know how to type, at least they can watch videos, and government schools, as ma'am rightly said, they are sending videos also.
Yes.
So education can happen, and I agree completely with Mr. Ashish also. 6 months here and there will not make a difference to the lives of these people, because they have only very recently realized the importance of only educating their children.
Right.
So even if that strata is not doing it for 6 months, does not make any difference. The rest of the people, the rest of the community are all aware, and they are doing it pretty well.
Super, very nice. So where there is a way, where there is a will, there is a way. And Jyoti ji, ये question आपके लिए है. एक parent पूछ रही है कि my child says I don't need to attend classes. Attendance का कोई पंगा नहीं है. अब आप आराम से शांत बैठ जाओ. Don't just chill, mom. So attendance no problem. What do you say, Jyoti ji?
No. I think मैं ये message सभी बच्चों को भी देना चाहूंगी कि अभी वही चीज जो 75% attendance का था, in fact हमारे स्कूल में what we have done, we have the e-portal system. तो जो attendance है उसको बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान रखा जा रहा है, और हम बहुत closely monitor कर रहे हैं. Everyday attendance is marked, and it can become a problem क्योंकि last में attendance जरूर count होगी. This is a message for all the children. So don't escape the classes. और यहाँ पे मैं ये भी add करना चाहूंगी कि कुछ बच्चे ये बोलते हैं, जैसे अभी related to the previous question, कि what is happening, जैसे कुछ बच्चे हमारे स्कूल से भी they have moved to the hometown, वो अपने suppose village गए हैं, वहां पर भी अगर ये लोग क्लास नहीं ले पा रहे कि हमारे पास नेटवर्क की कनेक्शन है, हम लोगों ने रिकॉर्डिंग्स करी हुई हैं, हम पेरेंट्स को भेजते हैं, और जब हमारा यस आता है उसके अलावा हम सैटरडे को एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस लेते हैं. तो अटेंडेंस तो किसी ना किसी तरह पेरेंट को कॉल होके करना पड़ेगा. सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट द अटेंडेंस पार्ट.
So watch out, guys, viewers. I think you open your eyes now that attendance is mandatory, just like it used to be in good old days. We have another question here, which is that we have parents working from home. And parents are working, they have webinars, they have Zoom meetings, and उसी वक्त बच्चों के classes है, कोई assignment है. तो ये दोनों का बैलेंस कैसे बन सकता है? आशीष जी, ये आपसे ये क्वेश्चन, एंड one liner to all other three panelists.
I don't think so there's any difficulty in this. I have been maintaining this. It's up to the parent how to take out the time for their child. If it's a working parent, it's not that between 10 to 6 he attends a webinar. 15 minutes they take out for some office gossip or for some other work. They can definitely devote that time for their children. I don't think so there is any problem in that.
Right. Wonderful. Sapna ji, ये question थोड़ा सा मैं twist करके बताऊंगी because there's another one similar. I will not repeat the question, just slightly different. Is parents पूछ रहे हैं कि जो education अभी online मिल रही है बच्चों को, वो real time education जितनी ही effective है या कुछ हम लोग lose कर रहे हैं, बच्चे क्या lose कर रहे हैं? Is it the same thing they are wanting to know?
I'll say yes. As a trainer, I'll talk because you want it to be bilingual or just in English?
दोनों ही करें तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. I think all kinds of viewers, everybody is watching us on Facebook.
I'll say bilingual में बोलती हूँ मैं. कि as a trainer, as a practitioner, जहाँ पे मैं trainings जा के 6 घंटे की ले रही थी. So my trainings to a school has come down to 2 hours. So उसमें effectiveness कहाँ पे है कि now the teacher is one-on-one, can see me as an individual, and she can see my presentation whenever she wants. She can open it and she can Zoom meeting खोल के पूरा school फिर से presentation देख लेता है, chat box पे लिख लेते हैं. However, physical classroom का तो कोई comparison है ही नहीं. तो वो मैं नहीं बोलूँगी कि physical classroom तो बिल्कुल ban नहीं. But जैसे ही आपका lockdown खत्म होगा, school शुरू होंगे, तो blended learning आ जाएगा, जहाँ पे you will have that कुछ ऑनलाइन क्लासेस भी हुआ करेंगे. So it will not be that it is gone. And जहां तक क्या बोले कि how much is it effective? It again depends on a person's attitude. If your attitude is in the correct direction, and as Ashish said, that attitude depends on the parent, and the teacher is always positive because the teacher is teaching. So she wants to put her point across.
Yes.
The parent's attitude matters a lot, and it's a collective attitude. The parent and the student, they collectively form an opinion. If the parent's attitude is very, very positive and all the time growth attitude, then automatically the parent will find ways that how he can make that child understand. Supposing he's not understood, he can go back to the teacher. They can find ways. They can, because आजकल तो learning concepts ही इतने बदल गए हैं. There are differentiated learning, flipped learning, day learning, blended learning. So the teachers, I'll give them full marks because they are finding ways and means कि बच्चे को समझ में आ जाए बस.
Right. So I guess So I guess this whole thing is a big challenge for the teachers, and they're doing a great job here. There's a viewer who has written a comment. Most probably must be a student herself. She says that we have developed a sense of independence. हमको एक sense of responsibility महसूस होने लगी है जब से digital education शुरू हुई है. So they are finding it that they are taking on responsibility more, which means if they have a doubt, instead of sitting back and saying कि neighbor से पूछ लेते हैं, बच्चों से WhatsApp का screenshot ले लेते हैं, कल कर लेंगे, परसों कर लेंगे, they instantly call up the teacher, or within the webinar they have chat, they have questions. So they feel that they're feeling more a sense of responsibility, and I think that's a big plus. Jyoti ji, do you have a take on that? Do you feel that kids are getting more responsible for their output in terms of education?
Yes, definitely. They are getting very responsible. And I would like to emphasize one point here. कि teaching में क्या हो गया? Now it is 24/7. Initially, when teachers were teaching, it was from 8 to 2. But if you see right now also, I have some senior children talking to the teachers. तो अब तो बहुत responsibility बढ़ गई है. जब whenever they feel like they have, वो सुबह के 6 हो, शाम के 6 हो, बल्कि we have started taking our tests also in the evening at times, or revision or doubt clearing sessions, and children have become very responsible. But teachers are working throughout the day now.
My God, that's what we say, a noble profession in its true form. There is not a minute, because also it's a challenge. And it's a challenge for the teachers to say that I don't want a single kid to be left behind. We are in the new normal, and let's put our best foot forward. So within this, we have another very tricky question. how to manage time, because nowadays, as children are very busy. Poonam has sent in this question. How to manage time, because nowadays, as children are very busy because they want to participate in all activities, which is the projects and term one exams and worksheets, and exams now, midterm coming in soon, the September 1st week. तो उनको इन सब चीजों के अलावा एक्टिविटीज में कैसे इन्वॉल्व करें? Ashish ji, we'll ask you, and Sapna ji and Jyoti ji then. Aisha, you're welcome too, please. So इतने इन्वॉल्व हैं ऑनलाइन एक्टिविटीज के साथ कि और एक्टिविटीज जो घर की चीजें होती हैं उसमें you know, parents are feeling that they don't know how to involve the children. They don't want to disturb them on one hand, and on the other hand they're feeling कि सारा टाइम उसी में जा रहा है.
So
Ashish
I
ji.
say,
I will just give a one-liner answer to this. I think every parent is experienced enough to have their work-life balance. If you can balance this, you can balance everything.
Right.
There is nothing in this world which is impossible.
Right. Got it. Yeah. Sapna ji, आप क्या बोलना चाह रहे थे?
I was saying अगर time management अगर parent को देखना है, so first of all they have to realize that उनके पास तो ज़्यादा time है, because there's no day and night. Night has extended. Earlier it used to be that the child has to get up at 6 o'clock, board a bus, they have to get ready. He used to just get ready and sit down and join the online class. So अगर जैसे आशीष ने बताया कि अगर time management कोई भी work life balance करना चाहे, उसी schedule में आपको time आराम से fit हो जाता है, depending how you're looking at it.
Right.
Like the kind of research I have done now, शायद मैं पहले क्योंकि आधा टाइम ट्रैवल में जाता था, तो अब आप उतना ज्यादा पढ़ रहे हैं. So again depends on where are you spending the extra time which you are having.
बिल्कुल, जैसे कि हम लोगों ने अपनी कंसल्टेंसी जो है हाफ कर दी है, 50%, बिकॉज ना हमें टेंशन है, हमको क्लिनिक जाना है, ना पेशेंट को प्रॉब्लम है कि वहां से वहां पहुंचना है. सो इट्स ऑल अ विन-विन सिचुएशन. एंड ज्योति जी, व्हाट इज इट दैट यू वुड लाइक टू से अबाउट दिस?
I think Dr. Madhumati, I would like to say कि schools हैं, उन्होंने भी एक बहुत अच्छा दायित्व निभाया है अपना. What have they done? कि उन्होंने they have converted the cyber spaces into collaborative spaces. अगर बच्चे collaborative करके कोई भी एक्टिविटीज कर रहे हैं, पहले भी तो बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा स्क्रीन टाइम देखते थे, नेटफ्लिक्स पे भी होते थे, एलईडी गेम्स भी चलती थी, बट इफ दे आर कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग कुछ कंस्ट्रक्टिव एक्टिविटीज पे कर रहे हैं, आई डोंट थिंक सो देयर इज एनी हार्म. और सभी स्कूल्स ने अपने करिकुलम में डांस एंड फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज सब कुछ इंक्लूड कर दिया है. एंड एज आशीष राइटली सेड, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस तो हमें खुद करना है क्योंकि हम रोल मॉडल्स हैं बच्चों.
Beautifully. Jyoti ji has put it very well, that it's just not about worksheets. The school, the community is now looking at everything online. You have your farewell parties, you have your Thanksgiving, you have the annual day, the prize distribution. Beautiful portrayal of everything, and it's also less stressed out. So less stressed out because of minimized travel time, like Sapna ji was talking about. एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है आयशा आपके लिए. पेरेंट्स का ये मानना है कि क्या ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन के साथ क्या बच्चों का इंटरनेट पे होना फालतू कामों में, मतलब एक्स्ट्रा वेलापंती, वो टिकटॉक एंड, क्या वो कम हुआ है? क्योंकि पेरेंट्स कहते हैं कम हुआ है. इज दैट द केस आयशा? They feel that whiling away time on the internet has reduced.
Yeah, I would like to say कि पेरेंट्स ये बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं, क्योंकि बच्चों को अब इंटरनेट के असली यूज की समझ आने लगी है कि ये कितना इम्पोर्टेंट मीडियम है हमारे लिए कि हम एजुकेट कर सकें और यूजफुल चीजों से हम लोगों से कम्युनिकेट कर सकें. और उसके बाद जब पेरेंट्स ने बच्चों को एक्सट्रीम इंटरनेट यूजेज के प्रोज एंड कॉन्स से वाकिफ कराया है कि बेटा इससे ज्यादा अगर आप करोगे तो आपकी आईज भी खराब हो सकती हैं, आपका पोस्चर भी इफेक्ट हो सकता है, तो बच्चों को समझ में आया है, उन्होंने एक प्रायोरिटी बनाई है कि क्या मेरे लिए ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है जो मुझे करना है, और इसके साथ साथ कहाँ मेरी हेल्थ पे इस बात का बेनिफिट आता है और कहाँ पे मुझे ये उल्टा असर पड़ सकता है. तो सारी चीजों को समाप्त करके मैं एक यही बात कहना चाहती हूँ that once we make a routine, a schedule, and we prioritize what is more important, then things like TikTok and those other apps, they will take a back seat.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
But
Wonderful.
We need to make them aware. We need to make them aware.
We need to make them aware to respect time and to prioritize and have a schedule.
What is most important.
So also another thing that came to my mind, यहाँ पे ये question ये आ रहा है कि बच्चों को और activities घर की चीजों में कैसे involve करें. तो मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था, उसमें ये लिखा था, there is what we call as family bucket list, which means a weekly thing, almost like delegating. Taking the pet for a walk, helping with the dusting. You delegate with concurrence. There are no dictators here कि मैं बताता हूँ क्या करना है, मैं बताती हूँ, and they all follow. So within the bucket list comes other things. They want to watch a movie together. While you have to, and also very important part is that parents actually don't know the child's timetable. अगर आप टाइम टेबल अपने ही बच्चे को बोलिए कि टाइम टेबल लगाइए सामने अपने, we can also see, okay, so you have a 20 minutes break, okay, you have a PE, today you have only 5 classes, today within that the parent can incorporate other activities, which is home, it could be even home management for that matter, taking care of their clothes, decluttering. Yes, Jyoti ji? Hello?
Correct.
Yes. So there's a lot that can happen, and while we are at it, I think we have time for another couple of questions. It's so good to see that viewers are listening and giving in their input. यहाँ पे एक concern है कि बहुत बच्चे about there's this child who's in 12th. She's saying that about 80% of her classmates are doing no workout, no exercise of any kind. And almost 70% have put on weight. And this is more concerns, I don't know, teenage concerns, I guess, the weight issue.
Yeah.
So वो कहते हैं कि sedentary होते जा रहे हैं और ये एक matter of concern है. So Sapna ji, Jyoti ji, Ashish, Aisha, please give in your input. Sapna ji.
It's a matter of concern, and this is like there's no rocket science to it. That what should you do? What you should do? What a child should do is like you have to. There's no shortcut for becoming thin. There's no shortcut for becoming healthy. There's no shortcut for just saying that stop everything and you will not put on weight. So there has to be emphasis, like if the parents are fit, automatically the child will be fit, because you will either the child has that bug of being healthy or the parent has the bug of being healthy. It will reflect because it's the structure of the house is like that everybody is going for exercise, whether it is on the terrace, whether it is in the balcony or anywhere. So it has to be there. It has to be like everybody, like everyone said, कि आपका routine बना के एक या तो bucket list बना लीजिए या एक अपना routine chart बना लीजिए कि exercise आपका उतना ही important है जितना खाना खाना.
और junk eating बहुत हो रही है सपना जी. Junk eating, chips, burgers, midnight snacks 2 बजे.
So I'll say midnight snacks, कोई बात नहीं, खा लो, कोई बात नहीं. Even I eat, but घर पे बना लो.
हाँ, घर पे बना लो. Great tip.
So
great
we are
tip.
making all this. Even I have kids,
Nice.
and I am also. We all are doing this midnight snacking. So I can't say don't do it, but start making. So we have discovered a lot of recipes that we are not having trans fat. So
Right.
trans fat
Right.
or processed food मत खाइए. आप
Right.
जितना homemade खाएंगे, please junk.
ज्योति जी, आपके घर में भी हो रहा है midnight snacking, ice cream, binging?
Yes.
Tell us. अच्छा.
हाँ, बहुत अच्छे से हो रहा है. Both my daughter and my son. तो वो रात को 12:30-1 बजे अच्छे से midnight snacking बहुत अच्छी होती है. But you know what I'm trying to say, positive चीज ये हुई है कि उनकी जितनी अच्छी bonding मैंने अब देखी है इतने सालों में,
Yes.
वो बहुत बड़ी है. So they cook for each other.
Yes.
वो मैगी बनाए, वो बेशक iced tea बनाए, but they're together.
Wonderful.
That's
So,
everywhere.
बहुत अच्छी
Everywhere.
चीज है.
Isn't that a good thing? Yes, absolutely. Ashish ji, बताएं जी, बिल्कुल beautiful experiences.
In agreement. I think you have given the maximum time to your family in this pandemic than you have given to them earlier.
Okay.
So, matlab, that this is some certain thing that you can also say it's a blessing also for you.
Right.
It's a blessing
Right.
also, because I don't know when you will be able to give that much of time to your family.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
agree with
absolutely. Aisha, this question is for you. There is a bit of a twist of the question. Youngsters are getting more and more moody and short-fused, grumpy, non-cooperative. Is there any one parenting tip or something you'd like to tell the viewers?
Yeah, here I would like to say that in the absence of social life, it is very, very obvious that the youngsters are going to get very grumpy. So parents have to understand how they have to spend time with their children, how they need to gainfully employ their children. Because lack of social life definitely makes a lot of difference. And as the previous question has connection with this, that one of the students has a concern that their friends are losing a lot of weight. So as they also say that, a fit person comes out as a very disciplined person, because fitness cannot be achieved in one day, but it is a continuous and ongoing process. So we as parents, it becomes our responsibility to see that I hope our child is just not sitting with a tub of butter popcorns and watching a movie, or just sitting, because once they feel unfit, fat, uncomfortable, that also is going to get frustration among that generation. So
Wonderful.
here again, the parents' role comes, and I want to definitely say that if all of us do not have parks, suppose we have a park down, or we are living in societies and compounds, we can wear a mask and go for a walk. But otherwise, I would request and recommend parents that if you can just buy a small treadmill or basically a cross trainer and place it in one small corner, it does not occupy much space. But it completely moves your body and it makes your mind healthy. You feel fresh, and doing a bit of exercise also, charges up your positive hormones inside your body. Because I want to just say one thing: the idea of fitness, beauty at any age is fitness. Rest, everything is namesake. So that also, will inculcate a positive mental attitude. They will feel better. They will feel refreshed. So this is very important. Definitely, we all are becoming grumpy. Sometimes I'm also frustrated. My maid is not here. My child is not listening. And then we do a lot of comfort eating. The cooks within us have evolved. We are making jalebis. We are making samosas. What not?
Yes,
we started baking bread.
Absolutely. So we are looking at investing in health, investing in health, and beauty is not skin deep. It's not just that. And maybe it's the new normal where we are looking at the great opportunities that new normal is actually providing us. We don't have to stress out to go traveling. We don't have to get worried about other issues. We have to figure out how digital technology can help us augment our lives. We are bonding better with our family members. Our children are bonding well with each other. And we are looking at things in a very, very positive, beautiful light. This evening today has been truly a beautiful journey. It just makes my heart feel that, hey, we have beautiful times lined up. And for Fairgaze, it's a privilege that today we had Sapna ji and Jyoti ji, Ashish ji and Aisha here on this platform for the K-12 community, and where we talked of the new normal and how the digital technology and the parents and teachers and children are coping. So on behalf of Fairgaze, I would like to sign off, though reluctantly, I wish we could continue. It's all warming up and it's beautiful people out there who have sent in beautiful comments. But signing off, have a great evening, be safe, and God bless, and we are going to meet again. Thank you very much. Thank you for viewing. Take good care. Namaskar.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Namaste. Take care. God bless.
I would like to thank all the panelists for such an insightful discussion today, and our audience for taking out time and being part of such discussions which serve a very significant purpose. And thank you so much, our esteemed panelists and our wonderful audience.